Claudia Jordan reflects on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Why do we care what Claudia Jordan has to say? Now, I have a question, like, because Claudia Jordan was bouncing around on one podcast with the black lady. Now she over here on another podcast with the white lady. There she is using her biracial privilege. There she is using her biracial privilege again. So now she is on this podcast. Hold on. Every time I see her, she on another podcast. Yeah. Like, girl, sit still. Hold on. Let me see. Uh, that's Freddie O. What Freddie O talking about? Let me see what Freddie O says. Claudia Jordan wish she had stayed. She's on the Wicked Awesome podcast and admitted she looks at leaving Real Housewives differently. Now, the business knowledge she has today, she might have moved differently back then. I'm gonna play Freddie's video just because I like Freddie. Okay, let me see what Freddie had to say.
Stop scrolling. Claudia Jordan is getting real honest about her Real Housewives of Atlanta days. And basically, she's admitting she wished she might have stayed on the show. Girl,
Freddie, you know she lying though, but Freddie ain't gonna say it, but I'm gonna say it. I know she do wish she stayed on the show because they kicked her ass right on off. Okay, 10 years ago, however many years ago, what season was Claudia on? Season 6, season 9, one of them, I don't know. But whatever season she was on, they did not like Claudia. The people did not like Claudia, and I understand there was the big Puerto Rico episode with NeNe, and NeNe read her, and she read NeNe. But at the end of the day, that was it. Y'all can't remember nothing else Claudia did. They said season 7. Okay, y'all can't remember nothing else Claudia did season 7. The only thing I can remember from Claudia season 7 was her calling NeNe a gorilla. She said NeNe was like gorillas in the mist. She called Greg, NeNe's faithful husband. She called Greg a slave. She did all that colorist thing that really earned her the nickname Colorist Claudia. She did all of those things. She was talking about NeNe's hair looking like macaroni. You know, black people's hair have texture, Claudia. So all of those things happened when Claudia was on the show, and apparently nobody liked her. There was even a petition to get her off. Hold on, we're gonna finish listening though.
You done cut that bag off for what?
I kind of wish I would have stayed on Atlanta Housewives now.
The queen of getting
I know she do wish, honey.
multiple checks on multiple podcasts with multiple networks and shows.
Well, Freddie did get a little shady. This is my first time watching this. Freddie did get a little shady. He said exactly what I said. Why is you on multiple podcasts, honey? What is going on? Where's your loyalty? Is she on the Carlos King podcast? She on the podcast with the Erica lady? She on the podcast with this Caucasian lady? She wanted to be on the Breakfast Club. She used to be on Flop. So I don't know. That's not giving successful to me. That's giving I need some money and I'll take any job y'all give me.
Claudia Jordan decided to go to her podcast and tell the world she wished she had stayed on Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't know if you've seen one of the best, but if you haven't, go check out her podcast show, Wicked Podcast, where her and her new bestie met up and was having a deep conversation. In that conversation, the ladies decided to speak on whether...
Freddie, you talking too long. I want to see the video. Now you're going to make me go, I got to go find it. Claudia. And I'm like, who cares what Claudia has to say? Here it is. Shout out to Radiance. And this is the actual clip. Shout out to Freddie. I appreciate your service, sir.
Atlanta Housewives now.
So, hold on. Let me put it back up here. Okay. Y'all know the drill. Copyright disclaimer on Section 107 of the Copyright Act. She did. She called Tiny a waste of light skin. She said that she couldn't see black people in the dark. Claudia had said so much, but we gonna listen. Now she over here with her Caucasian friends.
I kind of wish I would have stayed on Atlanta Housewives now.
Yeah.
I did the one season. I was asked to come back as a friend of the show to earn my peach back again, which I thought would be exhausting.
Yeah. That's a lie. 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 Okay. I don't know why she lied to y'all telling you she came back. She had a peach, right? They told her to come back and earn your peach. That's a lie. They did not tell you that. They said you come back as a guest, okay? You would get day rates. That's a lie, because even you have told this story before, Claudia. So how you gonna wait 10 years and tell the story differently?
Mentally. And I remember Candy Burris calling me and saying, you should come back. And I said, I don't want to come back as a friend. It's going to feel like a downgrade.
Yeah.
And she's like, but
it is a downgrade because they ain't want you.
If you think you got fame and name recognition from 1 year, trust me, your second and third year, and I think you're good. And I was like, I don't know. I was in my feelings.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I feel like
and that Caucasian lady don't care. She like, yeah, yeah, I really don't care. Yeah, yeah.
Kicked ass my first season. I should have been brought back as a housewife. I should have done that. Because I will say, being on Bravo every Sunday night.
Yeah.
I would go fly on an American airline flight, and the pilot would come out of the cockpit and tell me how his wife loves the show and loves
That's
it.
cool.
Like the fame I still get like perks from that from 10, 11 years ago. It was I didn't realize how huge it was when I was on it.
Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah. Yeah. She did not give two shits about nothing to Claudia talk about. And Claudia up here trying to create a whole new narrative 10 years later. Girl, you was fired. We know you was fired. Nobody cares about you being fired, and people haven't cared about you since. Okay, talk about something they wanted me to back as a friend to earn my peach back. Since when? Why you never came back in the whole 10 years since that happened? But ever since she left, she's constantly talked about the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and not a year has gone by that colorist Claudia has not tried to drag Portia. Not a year has gone by that colorist Claudia did not try to drag Phaedra. Not a year has gone by that colorist Claudia did not drag NeNe, okay? And she only shut up when NeNe threw her a bone on Carlos King's podcast and said that was like the top that Claudia could read a little bit, okay? When she did that, Claudia perked up and she ain't read her as much. Y'all remember all that? I live for the media blitz, honey. You said you don't remember her on there at all. I don't either. The only thing I remember is what is wrong with a bob? What's wrong with a bob? Something, and it was twisted under. Okay, it was twisted under. She is definitely a fan. I think it messed with her mentally though, because Claudia been a little cuckoo ever since then. I do feel like it messed with her mentally because the Housewives fans are a different breed, and they read Claudia up and down these internet streets. That whole NeNe, your clit has left the building and you a Hollywood pass around. She could never outlive that. Like they still talk about that today. They still talk about her crusty feet and them corns today. So all the things, the negative things that happened to her on that show, she is really, really in her feelings about, and that's why she continues to talk about it and continues to be in the comment section and continues to do all the things that she does because it was what it was, and that if she had an opportunity to come back that next season, she would have came back. She would have, but it is what it is. She came to the show. Let's talk about why she came to the show though. She came to the show broke, okay? She was living in an apartment with no furniture, with just her and her cat, okay? She didn't have no friends in Atlanta, no family in Atlanta. Like, why is you here? Why are you here? You literally came on the show to go at NeNe, and that's what she did. It didn't fare well, and she got the boot. Okay. Y'all let me know. Y'all think that Claudia is telling the truth? I know some of y'all are Claudia fans, okay? Some of y'all are Claudia fans. Put a 1 in the chat if you believe that Claudia was asked back so that she can earn her peach. I don't believe it, but y'all might. Put a 5 in the chat if you think they told her to kick rocks with no socks on. Let me know in the chat. You said nobody cared for Claudia. I know y'all some Housewives fans over here. Okay. I know y'all some Housewives fans, honey. All the stuff that Claudia said, she couldn't see black people in the dark, and we were so pro-black over there. We was the biggest black ensemble franchise, and y'all bring this tragic mulatto over there. All she wants to do is tell everybody that her mama white. Y'all don't remember that? Look at Freddie. Freddie said she was. I know for a fact. Freddie, ain't nobody stunned you, child. I know for a fact, too. Let me go to my blog. Okay, you going to make me go in the archives, ain't he? Straight from the A is the source. Straight from the A, Claudia Jordan fired. Hold on. Straight from the A is the source, honey. She was not only fired from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, she was fired from the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. Hold on. Let me go here. She was fired from everything. And I guess the only reason she got on Ricky Smiley in the first place was because of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let me go over here. Hold on. Claudia Jordan, twice fired. Oh, okay. I'm going into the archives just because Freddie want to play with me. Hold on, share screen. Let me go over here. Bam, bam, boom. Okay, let's see. Twice unemployed, Claudia Jordan was fired from the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. Okay, Claudia Jordan, former Real Housewives of Atlanta transplant who went head to head with Queen B, NeNe Leakes, has been officially booted for yet another job. Okay. And just a little over a week ago, it was revealed that Jordan was not invited back for season 8. Okay. Let me go back. Okay. Because this was me. Okay. This was straight from the A. This was before it had went public. Okay. Okay. This was June 20th, 2015. Okay. Straight from the A had that T. Claudia Jordan was out of there. Okay. You see that? Check, 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 check X. Okay. It said, yep, it's official. The cat lady known as Claudia Jordan is no longer a Real Housewives of Atlanta. The single friend of the show turned housewife worked everyone's nerves during season 7 of the popular reality show. And it seems that Bravo heard the cries of the fans and has decided not to offer Claudia the golden ticket to return for season 8. But wait, I've also got a little bit of tea on who is returning. Okay. So this was back then. Okay. I was the first to report it. Okay. And then TMZ had reported it too. It said Claudia Jordan learned the hard way not to mess with NeNe because she's been fired. Okay. We told that producers gave her the axe this week and she didn't see it coming. TMZ said that. Jordan got a lot of FaceTime last season by standing up to OG NeNe Leakes. Fact is, Kenya Moore also mouthed out to NeNe, but she earned her stripes. Okay, there go that. And then here go Claudia. Okay, hold on. Apparently, Claudia got the news the same time y'all did because she immediately hit the tweets. She immediately hit the tweets. Okay, but they asked you back, honey. They asked you back as a friend. She said, wait, what? And then somebody said, stop trying to act like you ain't fired, Claudia Jordan. And then she said, what did I say? I was on a plane coming from one of my jobs. Okay. So we got the tweets as evidence too. And here go me in the thing. Jobs, whatever. Anywho, for those of you wondering about who's coming back for season 8, here it is. It was NeNe, it was Kenya, it was Sheree, blah, 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 blah. So, there's that. And then a week later, she got fired from the Ricky Smiley show, okay, because the only reason she was on the Ricky Smiley was because of the Housewives. So we going back in time. People love to change the narrative 10 years later, okay? That's what they do. The years go by and they act like they don't remember what had happened, but we got it on straight from the A. And here it is. It said, I was told by a source a few days ago Claudia would not be returning to the Ricky Smiley Morning Show after it was made crystal clear that she wasn't returning to Housewives. And now Jordan herself confirmed that she was what was already buzzing on the streets. And so here go colorist Claudia. Okay, she wrote this long ass thing on the internet. What date was this? This was July 9th, 2015. Talk about, I wanted to make an announcement here for all that have been supporting me in all my jobs. After working on the Ricky Smiley Show for a year, I am moving on to more opportunities. And so there she is. She wrote all of that. Okay. She had to write all of that. And she said, I'm grateful to blah, 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 blah. And to Mr. Smiley for giving me the opportunity, which in turn helped me have a reason to be in Atlanta, to be on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Y'all don't see that? Y'all don't see? I told y'all don't be listening to me. This is coming out of Claudia's own mouth. The only reason she was on the Ricky Smiley Morning Show was so that she could have a job on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. But then later on, child, they was arguing with each other. And look, I said for the record, I told y'all a while ago that Ricky Smiley wasn't really feeling Claudia anyway. And after she got the boot from Housewives, it was only a matter of time before she lost that morning show gig. One clue could have been how Jordan's boss, Ricky Smiley, totally cursed out a fan for even associating him with Jordan a few months ago. Now, Ricky Smiley was not seeing it for colorist Claudia. Look. Hold on. Let me go back. I'm going over here, child. We going down the rabbit hole, honey. In the tweets, Ricky Smiley is not here for Claudia Jordan's RHOA mess. This was in April. This was a few months before she got fired. And Ricky said, don't be associating me with that jet. That's what he said. Okay. He was always on Twitter cursing people out. Okay. Look, he said somebody said really disappointed Ricky Smiley and Bravo want to have someone like Claudia on their show that promotes drama. So they said hashtag lost a fan. So Claudia was getting it left and right. They was calling her colorist. They was talking about how she called Greg Leakes a slave. They was talking about how she called NeNe Leakes a gorilla. They was talking about all the things. Talk about how she had a Caucasian mama, but she coming over there spewing all those racist tropes. Ricky Smiley said, look, I don't want to be associated with that shit. He said, don't tie me into that RHOA messy shit. If you don't support me because of her, then you ain't no fan no damn way. Okay. That's what Ricky Smiley said. They was going back and forth with it. And the girl said, I am a fan. I just want more positivity. And then Ricky said, never fall when I curse one of y'all. Never fail when I curse one of y'all out. Then you claim the F word, fan. Tweet me about some mess. I don't watch RHOA. And then Stephanie said, in life, we can disagree and state opinions. And then Ricky Smiley said, ain't no damn fight respectful because I don't respect you at all for adding me to that Claudia mess. Tweet her. Get the fuck out of here. And then he goes on and on and on, child. He said, no, ma'am, I'm disappointed in you up in this mess, effing up my day. You need to move this discussion to colorist Claudia, honey. Ricky was not seeing it for Claudia. And, eventually they fell out. But, they had fell out anyway. It's a mess, child. We just going back in time. Colorist Claudia enough money. I don't know what colorist Claudia is paying her. I don't know. You need to ask her. Hey, Freddie, child, what you doing, honey? He said, who drives down the highway in a big wheel? What? Wasn't there a petition that outed her as a colorist? I outed her as a colorist on Straight from the A, but there was also a petition. Hold on, it's still out there. Hold on, let me pull that up. This week going down the rabbit hole. We ain't got nothing but damn, child. Here is the petition on change.org. Okay. It said, do not renew Claudia Jordan's contract because she hates African Americans. I can't make this up. Hold on. Let me show you. I cannot make this up. Do not renew Claudia Jordan's contract for season 8 of the Real Housewives of Atlanta on Bravo for her racist and colorist comments against African Americans. Okay. Look. It said the issue. Somebody wrote this, honey. Bunny Hammer +6. Somebody said this said Bravo Television Real Housewives of Atlanta season 7 cast member Claudia Jordan's offensive colorist and racist remarks about African Americans, in particular dark-skinned African Americans, has been documented online since 2009. Her comments have been known on the radio and comedy circuits within the African American community. She is particularly known for making remarks against dark-skinned African Americans, calling them orangutans, monkeys, and beasts. Okay. Additionally, she had an infamous feud with Tiny Tamika Cottle Harris, a mother, singer, talk show host, TV producer, as well as wife of well-known multi-platinum singer, hip-hop artist, and record label owner T.I. Claudia Jordan, on a notorious radio show segment several years ago, spewed a 10-minute monologue disparaging Miss Cottle Harris's physical appearance, most notably calling her a waste of light skin. She has most recently been known to attack cast member NeNe Leakes, specifically attacking her hair texture, okay, the spelling and pronunciation of her name, Lenethia Leakes, insinuating that it is of low class, and referring to her as a beast and a host of other simian animals. Remember, she called her gorillas in a mist. We firmly believe that if these comments were made in regard to other ethnic, religious, or gender orientation minorities, such as Jewish or LGBT communities, this would not be tolerated. It is important to note that colorist Claudia Jordan is biracial, African American and Caucasian, and was raised by her Caucasian mother. Racism and colorism are extremely prevalent in this type of familial environment, and any attempts by her to deflect by calling herself a quote black woman should be taken with a grain of salt in an attempt to save her employment on RHOA as well as her career in entertainment. Therefore, in light of Claudia Jordan's recklessly politically incorrect remarks with regard to race colorism, we demand that she be removed as a cast member of the Real Housewives of Atlanta for season 8. This includes her being a cast as a friend of. If this request is not met, we commit to cease watching the program as well as spreading the word online and offline for others to do so. We also plan to take this petition to various media outlets if her return on season 8 of RHOA is made possible. And then they got references. Claudia Jordan makes disparaging remarks against dark-skinned African Americans, and we seen that when she says she can't see people in the dark. Here go another one. Claudia Jordan makes disparaging remarks against multi-platinum rapper T.I.'s wife, calling her a waste of light skin. They got the YouTube link. Here go another one. Claudia Jordan calls RHO castmates monkeys and gorillas. Okay, and it was in Urban Belle magazine when she was talking about gorillas in the mist. And then there goes Sandra Rose. Claudia Jordan calls black people monkeys again. Okay, not just once, but twice, and then 3 times. Okay, and then she went on her comedy tour and said her boyfriend would make a great Planet of the Apes. So, y'all let that culture vulture in here. Okay, y'all let that culture vulture in here. And so they posted, what is these updates? Okay, these are updates. These are different media outlets that were posting the petition. There's Atlanta Daily World, InStars, Gossip, Chicago Defender. Okay. Christian Brathwaite started it. Okay. Well, there you have it. So that was just, one of the many things that was going on with colorist Claudia during that time. I'm sure all of y'all remember that because that's why I call her colorist Claudia to this day. You say, I wonder if her mama talked down on black people. Probably. Probably. It's cringe. That's why it's cringe when she says stuff today, when she started talking about pro-black, black. I'm blackity black, black, black. It's okay to be biracial, Claudia. It is absolutely okay. She listened to Carlos to go after NeNe. Probably. Moving on. Y'all like this video. Y'all let me know in the chat what y'all think. Y'all think Claudia should have been offered a second chance? Put a 6 in the chat if you think Claudia should have been offered a second chance. Put a 8 in the chat if you think that it was good riddance. Let me know. 6 in the chat if you think she needed a second chance. 8 if they made the right decision. Let me know, okay? Because I know she got some fans now. I don't know where them bots and stuff be coming from that say they like her. Okay, they go 1-6. I see 1-6 right there. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Well, it looked like the 8s would have won. Okay. He said Claudia should never come back. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay, she got about 3 6s and 100 8s. She got about 3 4 6s and 100 8s. Okay. Just because you put 4 6s in your thread don't mean it count. You already voted once. That's Claudia right there. Claudia trying to make fetch happen. Claudia logged into all her accounts and she typing 6 in all of them. 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. Anyway, moving on. Like this video.